The president was paying close attention to the Watergate investigation. He told his new chief of staff, Alexander Haig, he knew what was coming next.
They come out with their little boy Dean and all of his jackass things, fine. Yeah, we just slap it with the wrist and let her go.
And a lot of innocent people have been vilified in this thing.
Mm-hmm. They don't realize what they're up against. This stupid Irvin drinking too much and pointing his finger. Huh.
That's right. That's right.
Because one day I'm going to attack that committee, and when I do, it's going to be a blockbuster. I'm going to take it apart like it's never been taken apart.
Exactly.
I really will.
Well, that's the thing to do.
Not yet. I'm going to wait till Dean's on.
Let them get so ripe that
after they're on, after they're about right, then I'm going to hit them and destroy them.
The president knew what John Dean knew. He had tapped him to orchestrate the cover-up.
John Dean was probably the premier loyalist to the president.
John W. Dean III.
He not only followed the president's orders and was attempting to suborn perjury of all the witnesses, but he also was a person who began to feel and realize when things might unravel, as he put it.
In the spring of 1973, John Dean had begun talking to Sam Dash in secret meetings, many of them at Dean's house in Alexandria, Virginia.
And he was initially trying to say that I'm not testifying to the president because I was his counsel and that's privileged. But he had already told me that although he had the name counsel, he wasn't counsel. He was a messenger boy. He hardly ever talked to the president, except during these periods. So I said, you don't have that privilege. And so finally, he got into the actual discussions with the president, the $1 million cost that would be to pay off, the cancer in the presidency speech, all of the things that Nixon knew about. And I was driving home, I remember, from Alexandria. It was about 2:30 in the morning. And it struck me that I would be putting on evidence that informed the American people that their president was a criminal. And I started to weep because I didn't vote for Richard Nixon, and I didn't like him as such, but he was our president. And I'm enough of a patriot to not want our president to be depicted that way, both nationally and internationally. And it was a very hard blow.
Made personal use of funds that were in my custody.
The verdict of history could well depend on whether people believed John Dean was telling the truth.
Some of these people I'll be referring to are friends. Some are men I greatly admire and respect. And particularly with reference to the President of the United States, I'd like to say this. It is my honest belief that while the President was involved, that he did not realize or appreciate at any time the implications of his involvement. And I think that when the facts come out, I hope the President is forgiven.